I am Perrette Saint-Preux. Welcome to Give and Receive in Healthcare, the podcast. A journey where healthcare workers can find inspiration, encouragement, knowledge, and insights to navigate safely the healthcare field. I am very excited to be with you today for episode 2. We will be talking about how self-questioning can trigger unbelievable change. But first, I want to thank all of you for your feedback and your support. And know that by doing so, you are also participating in empowering our healthcare workers community. And for those of you who sent me emails with your questions and stories, I will review them and start sharing them with the community very soon. As promised, here is the story behind the book Give and Receive. Everything started during one of those exhausting days of the pandemic when a question from a doctor stopped me in my tracks. But this time, it wasn't about treatment procedures or patients' updates. It was profoundly simple and personal. This esteemed doctor I'm talking about was our chief surgeon for many years, but had moved to the board of directors. He stopped by because he was on a tour throughout the hospital to reassure staff about the efforts that were being made in managing the pandemic. When he was done with his formal speech, everybody was talking and laughing, but he proceeded to ask, in the middle of everything, how are you doing on a personal level? How do you feel? How do you cope with everything that is going on? We were about 20 people or so, and our reaction shocked me even more than the questions because the first answer was a palpable silence that enveloped the entire space. Then some of us instinctively glazed left and right, seeking help in each other's eyes, hoping someone might have the answers. Then a few of us mumbled, shrugging our shoulders and averting our eyes as if to convey, actually, we don't know. To finally whispered, I'm fine, but in a hesitant tone, as if the words themselves were reluctant to be voiced. At the same time, we were still looking at each other like we were asking, do you think so? The answers projected a sentiment of hope more than conviction. For me, it was a poignant moment of vulnerability, fear, and doubt. I don't know if the doctor realized the discomfort that his questions caused, but he went on, encouraging us to share our feelings or struggles with him via email, and said, I don't promise that I will answer all of you, but I will read all your emails. While we were getting back to our activities, I felt kind of confused. I was wondering why none of us was able to say loudly and proudly that we were doing, I don't know, great, good or not, but with confidence. Later that day, I realized that the question troubled me, as the doctor said, on a personal level. Then I said to myself that it was normal, because in the high-paced, challenging world of healthcare, such questions are rarity. How many times has somebody asked you how you're doing on a personal level as healthcare workers? I thought we didn't know what to answer, not only because the questions were unusual, but also because we are generally conditioned to think about others, our patients and their families, our families and friends, and the broader community. And I said to myself, maybe it is because also we don't really pause to take time to allow ourselves to deeply feel our emotions or to identify their true origins. However, these simple questions became my solace. For weeks, I'd reflect on my day, scribing down lessons learned, emotions felt, and stories that touched my heart. And slowly, these reflections became a mirror, not only for my journey in healthcare, but also for my life journey. I made it a new culture to ask myself regularly questions about my feelings, my reactions, behaviors, decisions, and even my choices. To tell you the truth, after a while, I enjoyed the result I was getting as I felt the change that was happening in my life. It was more than just the realizations of my feelings. I started paying more attention to everything that was going on in my life. Also, I realized that I pay more attention to people around me. I began noticing the unspoken words behind my colleagues' eyes. The nurse who smiled a little less, the CNA with a deeper sight, the doctor whose face was weighed down with the burden of decisions, who showed sign of impatience or overwhelm when asking a simple question, screaming and explaining the load of patients left to be seen. And I would even stop to offer help or comfort to staff when I saw them in the bathrooms crying after work instead of rushing to get ahead of the traffic as I usually do. As I was investing more in my own well-being and became increasingly aware of my colleagues' emotion and the surrounding circumstances, I found myself perplexed. How could there be such pervasive feelings of sadness, stress, and discouragement in a sector as meaningful as healthcare? I started to ask myself. Because in my opinion, the healthcare field, with its cutting-edge advancements and promise of healing, ostensibly should be the arena of hope, vigor, and enthusiasm. Yet, as I delved deeper into the emotional landscape of healthcare workers around the world, I came across a stark contrast between the anticipated positive, hopeful environment of the healthcare sector and the actual emotional distress and challenges faced by its workers. Like the weight of expectations, the pressure of time-sensitive decisions, and the emotional toll of witnessing human suffering seems to overshadow the rewards and potentials of the field. To tell you the truth, this contradiction left me disconcerted. Why? Why in such an industry dedicated to well-being and vitality did the well-being of its professionals seem to be an afterthought? Why? Why so many members are leaving the field, taking early retirement with broken hearts? Why? And how have we as societies arrived to the paradox where the healers need healing and the caregivers need care? Then it became evident to me that while we have been made leaps in medical science and technology, the emotional and mental health of those working in healthcare might have been overlooked. I understand why many researchers are always talking about the importance of nurturing a holistic approach to healthcare, one that values not just the physical, but also the emotional and well-being of its practitioners. When I observed the healthcare sector more closely, using my knowledge about health systems and policy, I became even more concerned about several issues. I noticed how the demands of healthcare workers were being addressed by the industry leaders and how there seemed to be a lack of unity among healthcare professionals. Instead of seeing each other as crucial members of a team, we use each other's weaknesses to feel superior or to hide our own weaknesses and struggles. Patience, understanding, and compassion towards each other, it's almost impossible because we all need somebody to blame. The doctor blames the nurse, who blames the CNA, who blames the machine. The patients blame the doctor, then the nurse, and so on. We are so stressed, afraid, and sometimes frustrated that we forget we are all part of one team working for the patient's recovery and well-being. And too often, the patients forget that we are not the cause of their experiences, but simple servants who happen to be part of their life journey. As I took time to analyze things that were happening in the healthcare field, I became particularly preoccupied for those struggling to balance their personal lives with work and those letting work challenges strain their relationships with their loved ones, their family, and their colleagues. Many healthcare professionals underestimate the profound influence organizations have over their personal and professional lives by shaping beyond job roles, work culture, and expectations. They unconsciously surrender control and allow these organizations to even dictate various facets of their personal lives. But unfortunately, without recognizing the passive influence and addressing these misunderstandings, many of us will continue to experience burnout, mental health challenges, and losing our sense of self. In my opinion, it is primordial for all of us to realize that it's only by recognizing our own needs, desires, and expectations that we will be able to better navigate the intricate maze of healthcare where the priorities might often seem at odds with our personal aspirations. Because far too often, healthcare is perceived as this monumental, never-ending battle, a place where challenges are relentless, emotions run high, and resources, including our own energies, are perpetually drained. This perspective, while grounded, only tells one side of the story. I also believe that it is vital to reassess our perceptions of healthcare. Instead of viewing it as a monster that constantly drains us, we should see as a platform, a tool, if you will. But a tool that, when used correctly, allows us to manifest our destiny, fulfill our life's purpose, and truly share our unique gift with those in need. However, to achieve this mindset, we need to draw clear boundaries. We need to recognize that while we give our best to our profession, we shouldn't let it consume our identity. We must protect our core, our essence, our self from being incessantly drained. This means taking time for self-care, pursuing passions out of work, and fostering relationships that nurture our souls. Many of you may be saying right now, yeah. All of that sounds good, but it doesn't change the fact that we are stressed to death when people are calling us here and there, patients and family members getting mad at us, and others in the healthcare chain doesn't do their role properly. Yes, all of that is true, and I agree with you. But does that change the fact that you cannot do more than what you're entitled to do? Don't you think that when you focus on what others are not doing, you have less chance of doing what you can do correctly? What I'm saying is that by developing our ability to regularly check in with ourselves, we can ensure that we are not losing sight of our personal goals, and we can assess whether we are merely surviving in our roles or if we are thriving, growing, or truly making a difference. After all, the book Give and Receive is the way I was inspired to share all my reflections and observations with the healthcare community members who may have been asking themselves the same questions. It is a tribute to all the patients who share their life stories and experiences with my colleagues and me to help us realize that life is a simple journey and to teach us that when we give effortlessly, we receive abundantly. It is a testament to the power of understanding, curiosity, compassion, passion, gratitude, receptivity, self-assessment, and self-reflection, and a reminder that in our mission to heal, we must not forget our human needs. There is no doubt the transformation we seek in healthcare must come from within each one of us, because when we shift our perspective and see healthcare as an instrument to express and fulfill our life purpose, we will not only serve more passionately, but we will know how to protect and nurture our lives and our well-being. Instead of being just participants, we will become contributors, always giving our best without losing the best of ourselves. Healthcare systems and organizations will have no choice than to work with us so we can reach the goal of better health for all. Sometimes at work, people tell me that it looks like I'm Zen. All I know is that I am in harmony with myself. I have worked very hard on myself to cultivate my inner peace. So I don't let myself be disturbed easily or let people or circumstances tell me how to spend my days, when to laugh, or when to get mad or sad. My goal every day is to be happy no matter what. And to reach that goal, I have learned to define my priorities and to live by my values. I have chosen to be true to myself and to live my life instead of the life people think I should be living. I have learned to love myself, to embrace my strength, to accept my fears and my weaknesses, and work patiently to make them my assets. I have also learned to count on myself and to be reliable to others, to laugh at things that were supposed to make me mad, to stay quiet instead of saying things that I can regret, to observe instead of acting, to say no instead of a painful yes, to listen instead of talking, to give without letting others deplete me, to withdraw when necessary, to express my disagreement respectfully, and most importantly, to let go of what doesn't serve my growth and to discern where to stand my ground and where to step back. One thing I know for certain is that when you are emotionally stable and you are doing good in your personal life, things that happen in your environment or at your workplace have less impact on you, whatever it may be. And when you have found your passion, your peace, and your joy, you know how to protect them from anything and anybody. So, to end this episode today, I am asking you the same question that forced me to go through all these reflections that I'm sharing with you in the book. How are you doing? How are you doing in all aspects of your life? How what you do and the way you do it affect your life? What is the price you must pay to do what you do and for not doing what you know you can do? What is the price you are paying for living somebody else's life instead of your own? For not taking time to know who you are? for not trusting yourself, for not believing in your abilities to move forward, and for being what people think you should be. What is the price you are paying for not taking time to know your limits and to set strong boundaries? What is the price you are paying for letting your fears tell you what you can't do instead of taking time to dive inside of you to discover your strength, your courage, and your resilience? How are you doing? Are you feeling great when you're going to work, at work, and after work? Are you feeling wonderful about what you do but concerned and revolted about the treatment you and your colleagues are receiving from the health systems and organizations? Are you feeling tired after work but happy for being able to use your talents to make a difference in the world, or you don't care about these kind of things? Are you feeling good about what you do, grateful for your life, your health, your family, your talents, and the privilege to touch many lives in a special way? Regardless of the emotions you are feeling right now, how do you think you should handle them? Keep them inside? Act on them? Share them with others? Or just stay calm, letting the intensity fade and bringing you back to your comfort zone? Agreeing that because you are healthcare workers, it's normal to live a stressful life, to feel overwhelmed and even miserable sometimes, not to have time to see your children growing up, to enjoy quality time with your family and loved ones. Don't you believe something must change so you can do what you love to do with more joy and enthusiasm? Here is a thought I want to share with you. To achieve something different, you must do something different. And for specific outcomes, certain actions are essential. To serve in healthcare is a privilege. To do so with understanding, compassion, and self-compassion makes it a fulfilling endeavor. However, we need to know that what we run after in the morning may have no value in the evening if it doesn't nourish our inner being. True fulfillment doesn't come from the relentless pursuit of external achievement, but with the prioritization of what resonates with the deepest part of us. For that is what will stand the test of time and bring genuine contentment. Through your journey in healthcare, may you find peace, inspiration, and the reminder that life is a precious gift. So never take it for granted and live it fully. Thank you for being part of our community, and we look forward to sharing more transformative content with you in the future. Remember to visit us at giveandreceive.now.com to access the bonuses mentioned in the book, to join the discussion, suggest topics, and discover more content that can inspire you to pursue your passion with joy. And please, share these insights with anyone who might benefit from them. Let's continue to inspire, uplift, and support one another. In healthcare, we need one another. We are a team. Wherever you are in the world, we are one and single team, working for a better world. In the next episode, we will talk about the power of choice in healthcare. Until then, stay inspired. And in the middle of everything, always remember that no one can change the way you feel but you. And an empty cup has nothing to offer.